Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about filing a Marchman Act, and specifically filing a Marchman Act when the respondent, your loved one, the patient, has been allegedly abusing prescription medications. Now, the reason I'm making this video is I had a call during the week from a family. They'd hired another lawyer because they believed that their loved one was abusing prescription medications. And of course, the case went forward and ultimately they lost it. And, the family called me, they were all upset, and understandably so. And I said, look, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have taken this case. I've had experience handling Marchman Acts where there's an allegation of prescription medication abuse, and they're very difficult to prove. They're very difficult to win. And I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't take the case. I think there are other options to be looked at, one of which is probably guardianship. But as far as the Marchman Act is concerned, no. It's just, to me, in my world, it's probably a loser. And I'm not going to take your case. I'm not going to take your money. I'll discuss other options with you, but not a Marchman Act. And here's why. First of all, it's a prescription medication, which means that a doctor somewhere along the line has said, it's okay for you to have these medications. The other issue is, what does it actually mean when someone says, well, they're abusing it? It's a little different when it's a recreational drug, right? There are obvious signs, and it's very easy to see when someone is abusing for lack of a better word, a street drug. But prescription medications, it's a lot harder. And in my experience, it's the only way that the family finds out is when, somebody tells them, instead of taking one pill, they took two. Instead of taking two pills, they took four. But the actual signs, in other words, visual signs where the person appears to be high or they appear to be paranoid and delusional, the types of things that we would see when there's an abuse of things like marijuana. It's very difficult to prove that, right? Because there's very little evidence that corroborates the allegation or the suggestion someone's using prescription medications and they're taking too much of it. The other issue that I saw, and I learned this firsthand in court when a judge said to me, okay, Mr. Astor, I get it. They may be taking too much prescription medication, but where's the connection? Where's the causal connection between the behavior that you're alleging and the use of the medications? And that was the problem in the case, and I sort of learned that the hard way. And so when it comes to the abuse of prescription medications, it's really difficult to prove a Marchman Act as a general rule. I mean, obviously there are exceptions to every rule, but I'm going to tell you, as a general rule, I would not file a Marchman Act against somebody who is apparently using too much of their prescription medication, because it's just a very, very difficult case to win. And that's my personal experience. Now, there may be other lawyers out there who disagree with me, who are willing to take your case. Good for them. I'm not doing it because I have other options, because, well, I don't do anything else, right? This is all that we've done for the last 10 years, which is to save families whose loved ones are suffering from substance use, mental health disorders, and failed attempts at recovery. And so I'm not going to, for lack of a word, sell you a Marchman Act when I think there are other options that are potentially available, legal and non-legal. And if you want to find out more about those, please reach out to us. My team has a lot of resources, which we, like these videos, I give away for free. And I want you to have that information that you're going to need to decide if and when you need to move forward with some type of intervention. Anyway, with that said, I would love a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.